I'm Julie Nuclei, and this is a quick video on the transit Mars square Pluto. So this is a relatively minor transit that occurs around once a year for about a week every year. So it doesn't represent a major turning point in your life. It's more like a time when a certain type of violent, aggressive energy ramps up. Because anytime you get Mars and Pluto combining, they're the two nasties, right? So you're getting like an increase in perverts, thugs, violence, sex, anger, rage, power issues, control, enemies, backstabbings, that sort of thing. But like I said, since this is like a relatively common transit, it's not necessarily going to be that dramatic. You might experience it as seeing those qualities a little more in other people, or you might experience it as a time of frustration within yourself, because Pluto can cause frustration, Mars can cause frustration, squares can cause frustration. So all these things together, it can cause a lot of frustration. Luckily though, it does have a really constructive use, which is basically it's a time when you can really focus on your work, your career, your goals, and make significant progress in them, because you have like a tiger in your tank. Pluto and Mars both give you extra power, extra willpower, extra energy, extra focus. So it's, and squares of course also give you extra focus on achieving goals. So this is really a time when you can make extra strides towards your goals. What you want to avoid at this time is definitely avoid trying to be overly nice, trying to cater to other people, trying to be other people's slave, trying to help them, stuff like that. Because if you do that, you will feel really angry and frustrated and possibly lash out or do something dumb, like go walking through dangerous areas alone at night just to try to release the fucking frustrated energy you feel. Because both Mars and Pluto are very egoic planets, right? They're not lazy, so it's not a selfish transit in the sense of eating a mountain of ice cream, but it is selfish in the sense of it's a time when you need to be focused on accomplishing your own goals and working hard without allowing other people to distract you or draw you off course. And of course, squares, as I mentioned in another video, are always related to your career, your work, your goals, that part of your life. And they always represent a time where you have to, it's like a staircase, you know, and you've hit the next stair, and so you have to make an upward movement. So it's going to be a time when you somehow like need to move upwards in terms of achieving your goals, and you'll have the extra internal strength and willpower to do it. And if you're just focusing on working, Mars and Pluto aren't really problematic planets. They really just give you a lot of willpower and a lot of focus. But if you aren't focusing on your own goals, then they cause a lot of feelings of frustration, anger, and shit like that. And I mean, a question would be, if you are focusing on your goals, are you still likely to attract enemies and angry people at this time? And I honestly am not sure. The old-fashioned advice is during this transit you should avoid dangerous areas, but I have frequently gone to dangerous areas during this transit just because it makes you feel like and so far I've been okay. But still, you should probably listen to what the ancients say, because 60% of the time they seem to be right. And the last thing I want to say is do not wear like black leather and red silk during this time, because I have found that in general with transits, it's best if you like lean away a little bit from the energy, right? Like if it's a Mars transit, kind of avoid red. If it's a Pluto transit, avoid black, because if you do, you can really like amp up those energies extra strong. Because, sorry, my dog's snorting. Because the energy is already strong enough that it's gonna like give you more than what you're used to. You know what I mean? So if you amp it up even further, sometimes the energies can get out of control to the point where you can't really utilize them anymore. They kind of collapse in on you. So like this is not really the best time to like decorate your apartment with satanic images or that sort of thing. In general, under Mars's influence, colors like blue and green are really useful, and for Pluto, white. Yeah, and avoiding like excessively evil activities. Oh, and that reminds me of one more thing, is since you will be a little bit more aggressive during this time, you can be tempted to do things which are more underhanded or more attacking towards other people, right? Because you're also more egoic, more selfish, more aggressive, all that. However, you want to avoid that. Like, while you might have to have confrontations with people, you want to avoid going too far, you know, and actually hurting them or punishing them. Like, stick to standing up for yourself and asserting your own will, but don't go beyond that. The reason is because Pluto, it's Mars squaring Pluto, right? So if Mars attacks Pluto during this time, what happens is that Pluto stores up that angry energy, and it stews and it brews in it for a long time, because that's what Pluto does. And then bam, one day it's going to attack back. So whenever you have a planet aspecting Pluto, you need to avoid underhanded actions, because Pluto will always pay you back. He will take his time, but he will do it. So that's one thing to consider, is definitely stand up for yourself and assert yourself, but don't go beyond that, thinking that you can get away with evil stuff, because while you may appear to in the moment, it will come back to you later. Yeah, so that is all I can think of to say about Mars square Pluto. I'm Julie Neckley. Thank you. Bye.